Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's episode of Critical Role, where a bunch of us nerdy voice actors sit around a table and play Dungeons & Dragons. For those returning, welcome back. For those for the first time watching us live on the stream, welcome to the chaos. So, a little bit of overview for those of you who are just joining us. At this point in the story, VOX MACHINA, this intrepid band of adventurers, misfits, whatever you must call them, completed an adventure through the Underdark, a very dangerous, cavernous...
Here.
Oh, we like Sam. So, after completing this Underdark challenge, they discovered and managed to extract an evil artifact known as the Horn of Orcus that held great power and seemingly has a partner somewhere in the world that's unknown. But the one they've acquired is indestructible as far as folks know, and it was decided by the Council of Tal'Dorei and Vox Machina that it should be sealed away, hopefully forgotten for the rest of eternity. The best place to do so came up in the conversation to be in the city of Vasselheim, which is on a different continent far to the northwest of Tal'Dorei, the kingdom in which most of the story as to this point has taken place. To be sealed in what is referred to as the Platinum Sanctuary, the oldest existing temple to Bahamut, the good platinum dragon deity. So they were given passage on a sky ship to cross the Osmit Sea to Othanzia, the continent that houses the capital city Vasselheim. So the group gathered together, rode onto a magically elevated skyship, and traversing the ocean, carrying the Horn of Orcus within this container, this holy container. Hello! Sam has joined us. They found themselves over the ocean suddenly attacked by a band of what seemed to be wyvern and griffin riding bandits. A battle took place on the top of the skyship. Some of the magic being taken out, a few lives lost, but the party managed to persevere, take a captive, and continue on their journey. The Horn of Orcus and its container kept safe. And that's where we pick up and begin.
Can you say all of that again for me?
You don't listen anyway.
So, as you guys have settled in, the horn's safe, you've taken a couple more days on this journey, what was told to be about a 6-day journey across the ocean, 6 to 7 days.
So we fought off the wyverns.
Oh, do we have one?
Is
We
little
have one.
magician halfling still being polite and brushing her teeth and
She,
Oh, that's right, our little halfling. That
yeah, who you saved?
yes,
Haha.
that,
She's a mage.
that you saved. She is a mage, and she has also been bound at the orders of the captain, so as not to cause any issues in the ship while she's there. So, at the future, after a conversation with him as to whether or not she could work on this ship, based on the fact that their first meeting involved her and her band attacking and trying to murder his entire crew, Captain Damon was not too keen on the idea at the time being and decided to lock her up. So we shall see her fate in the near future.
She's locked up. Can I try to further my
Cool.
beard?
Oh yes, trying to grow a beard.
Beard.
Go
Go
ahead and
for
roll another
beard.
percentage dice.
38.
38. The little bit of peach fuzz stubble on the chin of your Goliath face begins to slowly grow. It's coming out colorless. It's almost translucent with a hint of gray and white.
I'm a Targaryen, baby. That's hot.
It's almost like a fishing line is like growing out of the bottom of his chin.
Don't be jealous.
Keep in mind, Goliaths predominantly, especially pureblood Goliaths, do not grow facial hair. The fact that this magical feat is even achieving any modicum of growth is in itself an arcane marvel. And who knows what detrimental effects this may have in the long run going against your physiology.
Oh crap.
Do you have a question, Liam?
Last night, while Grog was sleeping, I can see right up Grog's nose. While Grog was sleeping, I went and got a bit of rope from the ship and used my disguise kit that I have. I sort of frayed apart the rope and spent about an hour using spirit gum to glue bits of frayed rope to Grog's skin into a small little Gilmore-esque goatee. And he didn't seem to wake up, and I'd like to see how that worked out.
Alrighty. I'm gonna
I gotta do a sleep check or something, right? Can't let him survive that.
For this, go ahead and make a perception check with a disadvantage.
With a disadvantage.
You're asleep.
You're asleep, dude.
1.
Get it out now.
You wake up the following morning, immediately run to the nearest reflective surface to check on yourself, and you have a glorious dark brown, well-braided, mildly frayed, thick, coarse goatee braid. It goes about a good 3 to 4 inches from the bottom of your chin, and you are very proud.
I knew it! I knew it! I am a special boy.
As you reach the middle of the 6th day of travel, the sky, which at this point had been fairly sunny and clear, begins to slowly cloud over. The weather grows more gray, and the clouds themselves seem to cluster more into what, I wouldn't say a storm front, but definitely more gloomy atmosphere. It just seems like the weather itself towards this northern continent seems to be of the colder variety.
Scanlan,
Aye.
like we were discussing earlier, would you be interested in the still standing friendly trade of my ironstone for your circlet crown
Oh,
thingy?
you know what, Tiberius? I have been giving this a lot of thought and consideration. What's for lunch?
I don't know, what would you like for lunch?
Oh, no,
I already ate.
I was done with the conversation.
Oh, God.
Well, Keyleth, if you could put a little slate up for me, I'd like to illustrate something.
The strangest wall you've constructed, as up in the air on the ship that is mostly constructed out of iron and metal, there is little to no stone available of which you can sprout a wall of stone. However, there are weights set up on top, so what you create is less of a smooth wall of stone, more than a very thin, brittle shale wall that may function for a time being, but probably won't stand up for more than 5 to 10 minutes.
I see. Prestidigitation, some chalk.
All right.
You see, Scanlan, you've had this particular piece for over 10, let's say, matches or weeks. You have used it 0 times in over 6 battles over the 10 course, using it 0 times. I can do multiple spells, like 2 versus you, which can do 1. That means I can do 1 more spell than you can per round in every round after that, 100%.
So amazing.
Your utilization of the actual item has been equivalent to nothing. In the interest of the group and the use of items in general, it would be wise to switch it because you have needed to extra spells like invisibility
The shale wall cracks.
several times,
I'm sorry.
where my item would be more useful in general.
You are
Everything
looking.
makes sense now, Tiberius.
So, are you saying you want what he has back?
I didn't recognize you, Grog. What? Is that you?
It is I, Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall. My beard of glory.
So, Scanlan, what say you?
Your mathematical skills have been quite impressive.
I don't like to show them off.
No. For a man of such low wisdom, you are proving wiser than I ever imagined. I will gladly make this trade with you. You have convinced me.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
That's wonderful.
All right. Hugs. Now, what does this thing do?
Now you can store up to 3 level spells. You can do three of them in there. So
Oh,
you
it's better than the Pearl of Power.
and you don't have to expend
Yeah.
spell slots to do the spells.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, that.
I'm man enough to admit that he's convinced me.
That was so good.
That was awesome.
I don't know what you wrote, but it was
The ironstone, which you take and kind of place by your head and release, it seems to almost affix itself in the air and slowly rotate above your head, almost like held in its own orbital gravity around you.
Pike. Check this out.
It is fancy.
It's like a halo. Like your god has smiled on me, maybe, and said, he's cool, go for it.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know if that's what it means.
Well, religion is up to interpretation, so I interpret it that way.
It is very, very cool looking.
Thank you, Pike.
As this conversation comes to a close, the temperature in the sky has gotten noticeably chillier. And you swear for an instant, you start seeing what looks like specks of white snow beginning to drift from the clouds ahead.
It's snowing.
I'm dreaming of a white whatever
So you
we
guys,
celebrate.
there was something I should probably tell you. in this area of land in Vasselheim on this continent, somewhere, I'm not sure where, resides the fire Ashari. Somewhere in the town of Pyra. They're my sister tribe. They're a part of my sister tribe. So I come from the air Ashari.
Right.
Yeah, from Zephyra. So, yes,
So
so
they-
they're a
they-
fire Ashari. So the point behind the Ashari, I'm not sure if I have expressed this to you all in the past few months. The point of our tribe is that we sought out the weakest points where the elemental planes start to bleed with our plane of existence. And these planes need to be protected, so our people have sought them all out in order to make haven there and be the protectors that we were all born to be. And as part of my Aramente, I have to seek out each of the headmasters and prove myself a worthy leader.
Ooh.
Which makes me really nervous. But, you know, we got your back.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Totally do it.
Yeah, we
So
could
I just thought,
burn
you know,
shit for days.
maybe after, we handle, like, the horn, maybe we can, I might pop in.
We gotta go there. There's fire everywhere.
Yes, yes.
Exchange.
Unfortunately, the last person to go on the Aramente didn't come back,
Well,
which happens sometimes. Yeah.
like, didn't come back ever?
No. So, like, you could die?
Or maybe they got lost to the winds of the road.
Right, yeah.
It was actually my mother.
What?
So I don't know if she's alive or dead, really. But
We did not know that.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no bigs, right?
I
What
mean,
is your
it's-
mother?
I mean, well,
Do you think there's a chance that when we visit this place, we might have to defend ourselves?
no. I wouldn't think so.
Which
Not like
of
your family,
course.
Grog. They're actually nice.
Yeah, we're cool.
Look, my family is nice too. We just share love with fists.
That sounds wrong in so many ways.
It does, actually.
Man sighted! A voice breaks out from the side of the ship's bow. You guys glance over quickly to the edge of the skyship. You can make out what looks to be a fairly heavily wooded and overgrown landscape. You can see dark forest peppered with a little bit of snowfall across the top.
That kind of place.
Occasional mountaintops and peaks breaking through the canopy. At which point, Kima comes up and joins the rest of you. Kind of puts her elbows over and looks off wistfully for a second and goes, "It's been some time. Welcome to Arthanzia, folks. It's an interesting place."
It is.
We'll
isn't
follow
it?
your lead.
As the ship slowly begins to descend, you can see in the distance, from one of the various mountain ranges that kind of break past the top, there is one singular mountain spire that tends to protrude from the center of the forest about 20 to 30 miles off the shoreline of the Osmond Sea. Around the base of this mountain, you can see, the closer you get to it, what looks like hundreds upon hundreds of stone buildings. You can see little details along the mountainside, like countless staircases are spiraling up this mountain, about a third larger than Iman. Layers of walls and walls and walls. This is probably the most fortified city you've seen in your existence up to this point. This is a city that is meant to withstand any sort of a siege or onslaught. Captain Damon is slowly steering and shouting directions back and forth to his deckhands. The scale bearers and Kima come up to the top of the ship, carrying the box that contains the Horn of Orcus as well. I mean, you wear furs naturally in cold environments, but this is, the temperature's to the point where you may have to consider getting a little bit of warmer clothing if you travel too far outside of the city.
I have a lot of winter cloaks already in my
We have some fancy cloaks too, don't we? All right.
Yeah, sir.
Pass them out.
All right.
So she pulls out the really nice, thick,
Oh, that's right.
fur-crafted, yep.
I'm gonna take a large fancy robe and try to tie it up to gird it so that it looks okay.
He wants a
on me.
fancy robe,
Okay.
not
Be
a.
aware,
I'm
we
gonna gird
only
my
have two
loins.
left.
And you gird him well. You look like the tiniest Turkish wrestler you've ever seen.
Also, I'm gonna cast lightning bolt into the ion stone.
Yay.
Okay. And he releases what is a burst of electrical energy that immediately funnels itself and vanishes into the stone, which is now humming with a slow pulsing glow of a greenish blue light. Eventually the ship comes to stop. You feel like kind of a little bit of a lurching sensation as the ship suddenly halts its advancing. If you have any questions about the city, just speak up.
Where do we take the horn?
I believe, and she kind of looks over the edge of the ship, I believe our escorts will be happy to guide us. Eventually you all make your way onto the platform, and there waiting for you, you see there's a cluster of well-armored men and women wearing semi-matching gray tabards over patchwork and plated armor. They look like a really rough and tumble militia, but they all stand firm, and kind of as you guys walk up, they give a nod of respect and understanding. And amongst them, you see one gentleman, an elderly gentleman with no hair, completely bald, thick spectacles on the tip of his nose, wearing the same silver and blue robes as the envoys that met you at the Council of Taldori, and the ones that are carrying the box. Kima kind of steps out ahead and goes, Jan, it's been a while. The old man steps forward.
It has been indeed, Kima, it has indeed. And that's the scale bearer, Jan, if you don't mind. I would prefer, in mixed company, the proper niceties of our presentation.
Oh, we're no proper company, it's alright.
And you are?
We are
I'm Tiberius Stormwind, and we are Vox Machina.
Ion Stonebearer Scanlan.
Cocks his head curiously.
You can call me Kingslayer. I also did that.
Very well.
I have a beard.
He gives you the most curious look of all, which is hard to follow off of the Scanlan over here.
These are our escorts. Follow suit. We will bring you onward to the Platinum Sanctuary proper to dispose of this thing.
Jan, how many people in the city are aware of this horn being brought here?
Well, up until now, other than myself, you travelers, and the High Bearer Vord himself, no one else.
When he mentions Vord, Kima kind of twitches a little bit, and you remember Kima's official title is Lady Kima of Vord.
I can go eagle form and have aerial support.
I love it.
The people of this city are a very hardened and rugged folk. Most clothing is swathed in furs and thick leathers. Armor is patchwork in itself. Most of the men grow coarse facial hair, and the women themselves, their hair is wild and their appearance very stoic and grizzled. The people who live here, you gather, live here not because it's easy to live, not because there's many comforts. It's a very harsh living in the city of Vasselheim. But the city is also currently the oldest known bastion of civilization in the world. As far as it's understood, most human civilization all stemmed from this city, which is believed to be tens of thousands of years old. They have uncovered the single oldest temples to the main deities of good and neutrality within this city, and as such it is considered the holiest place in the modern world, which is why it has been through many, many wars and has seen much warfare and strife and difficulty. And those that live here because they feel that they can fight against this and actually call a privilege to exist in this harsh landscape as devotion to their respective deities. Also, because it is such a holy place, this is why the arcane is considered, for the most part, profane in public and very carefully controlled otherwise. You make your way towards the edge of the mountain, or where the mountain begins at the bottom of the floor, and you can see dozens of staircases ascending the outskirts of this giant pointed cragless spire that just sticks up, and actually the clouds cut off the top of it. And it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to ascend this staircase. Your legs begin to grow a little sore, until eventually you reach the base of what you can only imagine is the Platinum Sanctuary. You see before you, built into the side of the rock of this mountain, a grand stone fortress that looks older than time in itself. You can see the elements have weathered to the point where even the solid points and how the stonework was meant to be an edge have been rounded and smoothed down. You come to the front doors of this structure. Two very, very large gray stone doors with almost like white marbling through them, and you can see, mostly worn away, but still barely visible, the symbol of a shield with a dragon head emblazoned on the front of it, the symbol of Bahamut. As the scale bearers approach the front, the doors on their own and open to the interior, the grinding sound of stone across the marble flooring of the fortress proper.
Well, I was an eagle flying overhead.
Oh, yes. Best you can tell, there are, for the makeshift guards in the city, which you've heard referred to as bastions, they're all volunteers, and actually, from what you gather here, probably a quarter of the populace are bastions. As you're getting higher up the mountain too, you look out about and you can see the entire forest around you. Very thick, ominous, and you swear every now and then you can see some trees move suddenly and heavily before coming to rest in the distance.
I'm gonna go check that out first.
The rest of you are into the temple.
Is it
Keyleth is not there.
is it lit in there?
The door's closed behind you.
Hope Keyleth is okay.
And you can see on the edge of the city wall, a number of guards are beginning to swarm up to the ballista and starting to load them and prepare them. You glance down and all you see are some fast movement beneath the canopy. You swear you see what something looks serpentine-like. Multiple serpentine-like bodies or forms. And then it's gone in a second. You see a couple ballista set loose and the bolts go flying through the air, entering the forest. You hear a loud screeching sound, and a few dozen forests now begin to shake to the side as the creature makes its way away from the city before going still in the distance.
Okay.
You get the sensation that this is a
Common occurrence?
common occurrence.
Okay. Good to know. I'm gonna loop back around. Is there like an open window in like the temple I can just fly through?
Is there a super clear one that she could try to go through first?
They're not windows more than they're slits for arrow defense.
Right.
You could, as Keyleth could squeeze through. It'd be one of those things where like you have to careen and transform and then squeeze through.
Okay, I'll do that.
Which you do, and as you do, you come right into the face of a spear right there as another one of the Platinum Dragon
Should've
guards
transformed into like
says,
a fly.
"Who goes there?"
Oh boy.
Hi!
The guard begins to approach from the side.
I am with VOX MACHINA. I'm pretty sure they just came through the front door. It's cool. I was just doing just like aerial support. I'm just gonna go reconnect with my group.
You see your hands?
Why?
Let me see your hands. He takes your hands, pulls out a set of shackles, and locks them on.
This is the second time you've been arrested.
Yeah, it is.
The guy with the spear turns behind you and just holds it to your back as the gentleman just cuffed you, grabs the chain between, and starts pulling you towards the main chamber, where the rest of Vox Machina is currently being led.
Do I see her?
Yeah, you guys all see her being led in cuffs, essentially.
Seriously? Again?
What'd you do?
Highness, what is your problem?
She's with us.
No, we don't know who she is.
Is she? We have a few minutes to discuss this.
Kima turns and says, "She's with me."
Oh.
And both the scale bearers go, "Lady Kima, I'm so sorry." And they go ahead and they take the cuffs off real fast and put the spear back and they step back.
Listen to Lady Kima.
Scale Bearer Yon continues to lead you through this main chamber. And this chamber, like I said, it's the temple. It's strange because most temples you've seen to Bahamut or many other deities are extravagant or, built with a modern day sense of architecture. This is a very plain, simple stone fortress. But there's still a sense of power to it, especially you, Pike, where you're sensitive to divine energy. This whole place is humming with it. Scale Bearer Yon is now at that second set of double doors, and he presents his holy symbol above his chest. It glows for a second. The two doors open on their own into a central worship chamber. This is a much larger domed room. It looks like it goes up about 80 feet to the top of the ceiling, and the dome itself has what looks like an extremely ancient, detailed drawing, like Sistine Chapel style, of almost like the tale of the entirety of creation. And you can see a crude representation of how all the planes lay over each other. You can see the astral plane. You can see where the 9 hells would exist, and the abyss itself. And in the center, there's the prime material plane, and across it, you see a giant image of the great platinum dragon Bahamut, drawn in all of his glory, currently snapping down on one of the throats of a multi-headed dragon. This other dragon with 5 different heads of 5 different chromatic colors, and this struggle between what you know to be Bahamut and Tiamat. What you see before you is a slender elven male, draped in long white robes that drag a few feet behind his form across the ground. He has stark white hair that is slicked back against his head, no facial hair, frail but very handsome features. Elves, when they age very gracefully. And from the look of this, and most elves you've seen, this is a very old elf that has aged very gracefully. Welcome, everyone, to the Platinum Sanctuary. I am called High Bearer Vord, keeper of this most holiest of places.
I received word from a disciple of mine, of which Kima has now stepped forward and bows, or kneels before him and says,
Your Holiness.
He looks down with a smile. Ah, Kima, I am pleased to see you. It has been a long time, my disciple. He looks up to the rest of the group. I understand you carry something of terrible omen. It was brought to my attention, and through discussions with the council which sent you on this journey, that this would be the safest place to seal such an artifact. And amongst all other options, as of this time, I see no other choice. One of our most divine relics of our beloved protector Bahamut was kept deep beneath this temple, within the mountain we rest against, and we think no greater location to seal such a deeply rooted evil exists. Unfortunately, the last time the chamber was cleansed and prepared was some 15 years ago. Our curate tasked one of our own scale bearers, and he looks over towards Jan, who sheepishly backs away, was tasked with preparing it for your arrival. And it was found that the lower chambers have been infested with some manner of foul subterranean spider or creature.
Oh, man.
And our scale bearer fled. At which point Jan leaves the entire conversation and exits the room.
Jan.
But not before initiating the vault's defenses. I ask you to complete your journey into the Hall of the Exalt below. Clear out these meager beasts and guide your reliquary into the vault chamber to seal it for good.
Great. Good job, Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
You hear no response.
Why does he still work here? Does he have
Very good question.
Does he have
Did you like
tenure
his
or
manager?
something? Is it a union
He's
thing?
been with us
Has they been
for many,
unionized?
many years, and he has great heart devotion here. Though idle he may
Seniority.
be in his mind, he does bring much to the temple.
Right.
Let's go do it.
I mean,
Got a bear.
obviously we want the horn taken care of, but you know, we're taking care of a problem for you too.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Haggle with the
Shaking
Pope.
down
What
Haggle
you're
with the Pope.
inquiring
Shaking
about
down the Pope.
Religions and
is
choice,
a
they
monetary
have a lot of money.
reward
I was just wondering.
for your aid.
I'm not asking.
The temple can provide a sum of 3,000 gold pieces, which Kima says forward and says, Hi, Bearer, we do not need to take
we
money
don't
from
want money, of course not. I mean, I
But think
could
of
offer-
the good we could do with that money, giving alms to the poor back home where we are.
Yes, spreading the word of
No fools can
Bahamut.
Bahamut.
You make a persuasion roll, you make a deception roll.
Deception?
It's not deception. We really will.
No, only one of you.
You won't.
Ladies of the evening really
What'd you roll, Sam?
A 30.
Oh, that's really good because I rolled a 19.
3-0?
3-0. I have a plus 13 for deception.
That explains so much.
3,000 gold at your disposal to bring about, to share in the prosperity of your people back home
Amen.
once the artifact is delivered and sealed. Eventually, you're led into what seems to be almost like a storage basement. It's a very musty smell. Like it's old earth. There are 5 guards stationed in this storage vicinity, and as you approach, they all stand up. They look pretty prestigious to be assigned to a basement this terrible. Kima steps forward, takes her holy symbol,
Damn, girl.
and removes it from around her neck. Places it, she looks at the wall for a second and kind of feels for a second, then places it into what you didn't see before was some sort of a slight recess in the wood. It flashes the divine energy, and suddenly the wood illusion is dispelled, and what you see before you is a stone doorway that begins to slowly shift to the side and open up. The stairway eventually comes to an end into a chamber about 50 feet by 50 feet. You see there is a thick white mist that just kind of hangs in the air. Your eyes adjust a little bit, you can see what looks like, this room for the most part doesn't have any sort of details. There are a couple of sconces with low flickering light that are embedded in the side of the walls of this 50 foot by 50 foot room. It's about 20 feet high.
I go ahead and I just do a little wind gust and I go
Okay.
down the hall.
Okay. Okay, so you cast Gust of Wind. The mist that was filling this room blows out the other side, and you can see the room is a little more visible now. You see now in the center of the room, what were initially just dark spots in the mist, there are 2 pillars that are attached from ceiling to floor, right
roughly about 20 feet apart from each other, kind of in the center of each side of the room. Each pillar is solid gray stone with what looks like intricately carved small dragons, almost curling and wrapping around the statues. Each one of their heads kind of turned, mouth open, kind of angrily in different directions. These mouths of these dragons seem to be what's creating this white mist.
My gust of wind lasts up to 1 minute, by the way, so I can keep...
Oh, maybe we should just not touch the mist and go straight through the room.
Let's go.
Should we go?
Let's go through.
Let's go before it gets back.
Hustle, hustle, hustle.
Go.
I'm running 10 feet ahead of everybody. I rolled a big old 1.
He tripped.
Okay.
Wow.
You
Oh no.
continue forward, and as you're rushing through the group, not paying attention, you gently hit the edge of the mist barrier with your shoulder as you're rushing to the side instinctually to like stealth along the wall. As your shoulder breaks the mist,
Bring it.
all of the dragon mouths burst into bright, fiery flame and begin spinning rapidly in the room. The people that are in the center running through right now, which include Keyleth, Scanlan, Tiberius, and Pike, all of you guys make dexterity saving throws right now.
Son of a bitch.
Way to go, Vax.
Teacher, did I have time to finish my book?
You have.
Yes!
As the flames just burst out throughout the room, tearing into the air with this reddish-white flame, both Vax and Tiberius manage to try and dodge out of the way as best they can. 12 points of fire damage to each of you. So
Rogue with uncanny dodge
you
for
take
a
none.
successful save
And I
gets
take half.
0
So
damage.
you take 0 damage, you take 12.
rest
Scanlan,
of us?
Keyleth, and Pike all take 24 points of fire damage. Burning the second spell slot, the mist clears itself. Now that you're aware of what it does, you're very careful to direct it towards the center and leave an open path. The rest of you rush through, including the scale bearers, in the minute you have. The wind is blowing in your face from Keyleth's position. It's kind of like stepping into the force of a hurricane. You can finish your spell and the mist immediately fills up and completely obfuscates that room behind you once more. You're now in what is a 10-foot wide chamber for an additional 20, or a tunnel or a hallway for another 20 feet before it opens up into another room. You notice that across this floor of the circular room, there are these circles marked across the entirety of the surface here. Opposite side, there is actually a much larger opening, what looks to be another staircase that descends. This one is 20 feet wide. It's a very wide staircase from where you're used to seeing, especially in the structure.
There's no door.
No doorway. It's open. It just descends down below. It's across.
Stand back.
Oh.
I'm gonna click my boots
No.
haste.
Shouldn't we like throw something onto one of the pressure plates first and see what it does?
Yeah, me. I'm going to click my boots of haste. I'm going to run. I'm going to do sort of a running roll, land on the closest circle, and wait for like half a tick, and then roll off of it.
Are you kidding me?
What?
All right.
No, let him do it.
So as you guys are about to go, wait! Vax is already off. Clicks the boots. The magic, the arcane magic of the boots of haste kick into his body. You leap forward. Your hand touches the first circle in the room. As it does, there's suddenly a shift in the room. Like all of a sudden, the hand which you had purchase on slides out from underneath you. You catch yourself on your feet, but now suddenly there's a loud grinding sound. The entire room seems to be shifting, moving, spinning in its own right, and you instinctually feel something moving towards you very quickly. You barely manage to move out of the way before that circular portion of the ground skyrockets up like a pillar, one very similar to the one that you created for your spell. It slams into the ceiling with a heavy thud, retracts, and continues again. In fact, looking around you, all of them in the room are now at different levels pistoning into the ceiling. This entire room is slowly rotating, and there are just a series of pillars mashing into the ceiling. You manage to make your way halfway across the room, dodging out of the way as these pillars are slamming and retracting, kind of use the pattern of when they're pulling down from the ceiling, but they're moving very fast. One of them manages to catch you underneath your ankle. It catches you, takes you off of your balance, and it rockets you towards the ceiling. You manage to pull most of your body out of the way in time, but it still catches the back of your shoulder blade. 40 points of crushing damage.
Yes!
As you are slammed into the ceiling, and as the pillar retracts, you roll off with a heavy wheeze of pain. Catching onto your feet again. In the severe pain you're feeling, you can tell there's probably some serious bruising in there, and you probably broke a couple ribs. But you managed to just barely dodge and leap out of the way, making yourself across the room to where the staircase descends out of the immediate danger.
Jeez.
The rest of you now are standing on the opposite side of this room, which is currently a rotating grinding mill.
That was great.
Who's next? If there's any kind of device or anything on this side.
You can see on the ceiling in the very, very center of the room, precariously placed right where one of the pillars in the center slams into the ceiling, there appears to be a small quarter-sized hole, gold piece-sized hole in the ceiling.
Yeah, come on, Vex.
Race you for it.
In the middle of the room. In the ceiling, where...
Is there a shot of it, or is there bagoong going on?
Oh no, it's still going. The pillars are still slamming into the roof. And that one hole you see is right where one of the pillars slams into the roof. You only see it intermittently when the pillar retracts.
Go, sharpshooters, go.
You first or me?
Well, let's try this first, because you might just break it down completely.
Oh, very well.
Can I try to shoot an arrow into the little hole?
You can. This is a hard shot because it's at an angle now.
Okay.
And it's to be kind of a... We're talking, this is Robin Hood level split the arrow, because you have to hit it and ricochet upward to see if it'll have any
Oh,
effect.
jeez Louise.
I would like to offer my beard for a rub of good luck.
I'm gonna...
Thanks.
As you offer the beard, it tears off.
What?
Oh no!
What did you do?
You know what? I'm gonna tie this to the arrow. It's gonna give it really good luck.
Seems like it's
I'm not
aerodynamically.
actually gonna tie it to the arrow.
I'm going to inspire her with inspiration. I'll sing, ooh, shut up and shoot that hole. Your arrow is my destiny. And I say, ooh, shut up and shoot that hole.
You let out all your breath and you hold, waiting between heartbeats, and then release. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
30. Oh, Jesus. 5.
Yeah. Good inspiration.
As you release the arrow, you see the pillar slamming. The pillar comes down just as the arrow crests over it, past another pillar that just barely manages to miss. Ricochets off the bottom edge of the actual hole and immediately bends itself upward, the shaft bending as it begins to start heading up the hole. As it goes up there, you hear what sounds like a splintering of wood and metal. Then you hear metal grinding. You start seeing bits and chunks of grinding metal begin to pour out of the hole, and the pillars begin to...
Nice shot!
I could have done it.
You totally could have
I
done
could have
that.
made that shot.
As they come to the other side, I clutch my broken rib and injuredly hold a hand up and give a half-assed high five to my sister. Ugh.
Good job getting slammed into the roof like that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You make your way down this long staircase. You continue down for, I'd say probably a good 100 feet or so before you start encountering, I would say a mild change in the scenery at least. What was normally just a musty hallway is now becoming thicker and thicker, coated with large spider webs.
Awesome.
The sound of a low clicking. Right now everyone rolls initiative.
Oh, I'm gonna cast Conjure Barrage at all of the spiders coming at us.
Alrighty.
And I'm gonna Hunter's Mark whatever one looks the biggest.
Okay.
15, and then 20 for the big one with the Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
A little bit of distance, so I'm just going to start hucking daggers at them. I'm going to start with Dagger of Life Stealing. 16 to hit.
16 to hit. Hits.
10 of damage.
Alright.
Then the Keen Dagger follows. That is a 27.
That hits.
For 10 damage.
You move around. Huck both daggers. One strikes a spider right in the center of where its eyes are, and it screeches for a second before it curls up, its legs kind of pulling into its torso. The other one, it strikes it in its abdomen, and the blade retracts and returns back to your belt. As it does, it leaves this streak of greenish liquid. And you have a better view of these spiders now. Because you notice, as most spider-like creatures go, you're used to like the darker, furry wolf spider types. These have a different color. Their physical bodies are more white and blue. Like they're mostly covered. Their coloration is white with kind of a bluish hue to it, and their eyes are almost pink, white in color. They're very strange, different kind of spider. But there's something about them that seems loosely themed in the ethereal.
All right, I'm going to take a couple shots at him. A 24 to hit.
That hits.
That's 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. Alrighty.
Not too depressing.
That's not too depressing. 16 to hit.
16 does also hit. Yep.
3 fire damage and 16, 17 as well.
All right.
17 plus 3 fire damage.
He is so dead.
That spider gets splattered. You see there's a burst of flame and as its body is knocked in the air, torn asunder, and then consumed by the flame burst at the same time. You see, like, it looks like a scattering of ash across the ground and the steps beneath it.
It looks like flash paper.
Essentially, yeah. These two both vanish, and the net falls flat.
Oh shit.
One is striking at you.
Me.
That is a 21 to hit.
It hits me.
And against Percy, that is a 25.
Oh my god, that hits.
All right. You both take 13 points of piercing damage. And I need you both to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. 19.
19.
Oh,
rolled a 1.
Percy.
So, as all of a sudden this strange sound streaks behind you, you turn over your shoulder just in time to see these spiders pop out of seemingly nowhere and strike into you. The fangs sink into your side and you knock them off with your elbow. You feel the venom extract itself from the fangs, but just as you pull it out of the side, so it actually does not envenom your body. Percy, you're not so lucky. The venom pulses into the side of your shoulder and you feel this burning sensation ripple through your entire upper right torso. You take 21 points of poison damage.
How many are left? 2?
Yeah.
Obelisk of stone.
Okay. Both spiders get mashed pretty horribly into the ceiling. You see where the pillars are slammed into the ceiling permanently. You can see the legs kind of dangling out for a second and then just slowly curl in towards the edge of where the stone pillars are meant to ceiling.
Are there any corpses that are more accessible than the one that got torched and the ones that are
Are there any
squished?
spider fangs we can put in the bag?
Yeah, because I have that book that helps me do that now.
So when I shot,
you can actually. A few that you and Vex killed. Vex and Vax both just kind of wiped out a few the spiders. Go ahead and make an herbalism roll.
Ooh, I bet we need some of that poison.
Oh, 24.
24. You managed to extract 2 poison glands from one of the spiders. The other one were 2 damaged beyond repair.
Ooh.
Sweet.
I give them to the twins.
Okay.
Oh, we can just like use them?
You don't know.
Okay, cool.
She hands you 2 nasty-looking glands that are like still wet with spider ichor.
I got this for you guys.
Oh, thank you, Caliph.
Do you want me to
That's
hold on?
that's sweet. I love it.
Would you happen to have a little glass vial?
I
or
think I
something
have
can
2
put this-
left. I need to get more. Here we go.
Thank you.
I'm ready to make my attack turn.
All right. There is nothing there.
I sheath my soul.
There you go.
I'll continue on down the hallway.
Okay.
I'd like to continue to stealth ahead of the group and also continue checking for traps.
we already went.
Oh, he is.
As you stealthily move along the side of the wall, Scanlan comes pattering down the stonework. You can see webbing scattered throughout the entirety of the stone room. It's about 60 feet up. There is very, very low light from the flickering sconces that are on the walls of this towards the base of the actual room. The building in the center, it looks almost like an ancient mausoleum structure, how it's placed in the center of the room. Closed stone doors, but what catches your eye is the entirety of the structure seems to be crafted of the same platinum-like material as the stone, as the container. Low light.
I'm gonna use my primeval awareness and see if I can sense any spiders in the area.
Okay. You take a moment to concentrate, and you sense, while not in visible range, on the opposite side of this room, a whole bunch of tiny little life sources, and one rather large one.
Good to know. Lots of spiders. Lots of.
Kima's now sitting here like,
Go, do it.
she puts her symbol into the recess. As it does, the stone doors kind of shift. It is dull, kind of creaking of the stone as it slides, not open, but into the walls, revealing an interior that is, as kind of the light filters in, the entirety of the wall, floor, and ceiling of this room is of the same scrolling the same platinum sapphire material as the outside of this building and the box that's there, except for the design seems to all filter in towards the center, like the center of a spider web. All the design coalesces
Has to
to
be
the
a
center
spider
point.
That's
not an actual spider web. And there was a raised dais in the center there, about 4 feet wide, about a half a foot thick. The two scale bearers begin to move down, carrying the case. As they enter the chamber, they both step forward and take and place the box into the center of the room on top of the dais. As they both release the chains, the box seems to levitate on its own to the center of the room, much like how the horn itself ascended and was kept aloft with the center of the box. The box lifts up and slowly begins to rotate on its own. As it does, you can see the sapphire bits that are ingrained in this box flash with a bright blue light. And all of a sudden, the blue energy spreads into the ceiling and the floor of this room, and all of the blue and silver veins that are carved into this begin to glow with a similar blue light. The doors begin to...
Which doors?
The doors you guys entered this room and begin to close. You guys immediately scooch out of the way. Kima darts off. Both of them turn around and start running back. They both make it out. Both manage to just squeeze through fast as the doors slam behind. You see, curling up over the top of this structure, one large white and bluish spider that leaps up. As this is happening, you guys notice that blue energy is cracking through the floor. And now, following the pattern across the entirety of the structure, it crawls up the walls. And that blue energy reaches to the ceiling, illuminating it. And what you missed when you entered the room is you can see, recessed into the ceiling of this room, 4 large humanoid entities that are just currently held aloft, buried in the ceiling of platinum armor. One of them suddenly flashes, dislodges, and squashing the spider in the process.
What is that?
Screeching sound as the spider slowly tries to curl in place. The giant platinum golem now slamming on top and squishing at the top. You see as it slowly comes to stand, each hand holding these giant platinum cleavers. You suddenly hear a voice ringing through your heads collectively. Get out! Everyone to go ahead and make a dexterity check. All right, anyone lower than a 10?
What about on a 10?
Lower than a 10. Awesome. You guys all come darting out of the room. Except for Kima, who rolls a 1. So all of you guys come running out of the room.
Kima's dead.
The rest of the scale bearers come rushing through now. They're no longer encumbered by it. Kima's kind of helping everyone else get by and trying to keep everyone at bay, being the hero. As she turns around, the first one comes leaping off of the top of the structure, runs toward her and gives one giant sweep with one of its blades. You see the blade streak across the front of her silver armor. She takes 24 points of slashing damage. It sends her flying back 10 feet with the sheer force of it, but she manages to roll out of it, catching herself to her feet and just keeps bolting behind the rest of you guys. You now see behind 2 more. Dislodging from the ceiling as the one that's charging after you is coming up the stairway. Through this, we're now going into a skill challenge as you guys are rushing out. As you guys are all charging up the way, kind of like helping each other, but also clamoring to get through. Kima's rushing up. You see one of the scale bearers who's now tripped and fallen on the stairs.
Oh, no.
She runs past, leans back to reach her hand out as the golem comes up behind. With 2 hands, swings down with both blades.
Kima again?
This is against one of the scale bearers.
Oh.
One of them hits the stone and just streaks off sparks flying through the air, illuminating the space secondarily. However, the other scale bearer takes 28 points of slashing damage from the blow. As it reaches up again for a second blow, Kima reaches down, grabs Desdemona's arm and lifts her up off her feet, and they both go charging forth. You guys make your way up the stairway.
Okay. I'm gonna turn around and do Wall of Stone.
Boof! Okay, as they just rush past the wall, stone slams up as the golem goes smashing into it.
I'll do some port. I'll do obelisk right behind it, dude.
All right. So as you guys come rushing up to the top of this, you guys are just building the stone wall, obelisk. We'll say you cast it twice to go ahead and reinforce. All right, you hear the impact from behind. Poof! You hear the stone crack and break, and you see 2 of the pillars that you put up impact. Dust, bits of rock shoot out, but it settles. Apparently it's holding strong, and you start hearing slamming of some sort of heavy weight behind it.
Run.
As well as the following of additional giant heavy footsteps. It's now got its reinforcements caught up to it. You guys charge into the room with the broken trap, which now has like partially raised platforms. You're rushing around and trying to find your way through. You get to the other side of the room. There's now an entirety a room filled with mist in front of you.
Oh no.
I still have it. I can gust of wind.
So as you guys come rushing in, you're like, go, go, go! You see Keyless is focusing, getting the wind to escape. So everyone comes through. Grog's bringing up the back. You can see now in the back behind him, a giant blade-wielding fist of the golem comes smashing through the wall. Grog comes running, hears the sound, looks over his shoulder, and the chaos of it, the trajectory is off, and he ends up brushing into the side of the mist. You end up taking 24 points of fire damage as the pillars spin, unleashing a torrent of flame.
Oh, bad car wash! Bad car wash!
Bad car wash!
Oh no, Grog, your beard has been singed.
What?
You reach up instinctively and feel that smooth as a baby Goliath face.
Is all that work?
You get to the final door, you exit as Kima rushes everyone through. She brings out her holy symbol real fast, and as she pulls it off her neck, you see the first golem reach the bottom of the staircase. Kima pulls out her holy symbol and holds it aloft in front of her and just says under her breath, at which point it begins to glow with this extremely vibrant glow. As it does, you see a symbol emblazoned on the front of the golem. It flashes with light as it stops. It just kind of holds its place and waits. And Kima looks at the symbol like, I wasn't sure that was going to work. She takes the symbol and puts it back in the side of the stone door that originally was closed. The door slowly seals shut once again. She pulls the symbol out. And she falls to her knees, breathing heavily.
Oh, Kima.
We did it!
Next time, lead with that.
Yeah.
I agree, Grog. Very well said.
It kind of happened very quickly, I'm sorry.
Alright, some people need to be healed.
Yeah.
Kima for sure. Grog's got a
alright.
burned face.
No, I want to wear this pain as a remembrance of my beard.
You guys make your way
You
up.
can grow it back, Grog.
You guys make your way up to the main chamber where High Bearer Vord is currently waiting for you.
So I am to assume that your journey was a success.
Yes. Yeah. Surprisingly so. It was...
The High Bearer turns to you, Pike, and says,
Mighty Cleric, I see this meeting, though it escaped my vision more so, you bear the holy sigil of the Dawnflower, the Lady of Redemption herself. While we may walk under different stars, I offer these words that caught my ear not but a week ago. An excavation beneath the toppled tower of Sirac, a long cursed ruin that sat like a blemish upon this city for hundreds of years, was revealed that perhaps of the 5 holy paths that began here at Vasselheim, there may indeed now be a 6th.
What?
A forgotten temple to Serenray has been uncovered. Crumbled, lost, and without light, it has sat forever and a day. And few are around in this city in her guiding flame to recover and restore its glory. Perhaps you should look into it.
I will gladly look into it.
The Loon rise to the west of here, at the base of the city's mountain. Look for the Darkstone ruin. Nevertheless, I thank you for your time. Kima, if you wouldn't mind, we have some things to discuss as well.
You wouldn't have happened to her, hear of maybe a druid tribe called the Fire Ashari? They call their little hometown Pyra.
There has been talk of a rogue band of druids, not more than 2 days' travel in the Sunder Peak mountain range. Dangerous territory, fraught with volcanic activity, yet these folks seem to call it home.
Is the temple to Serenray on the way to the...
Temple to Serenray is on the same mountain that this temple is built on.
Oh.
To the west of here. Follow the mountain base.
Yes.
So we can, stop there first?
Yes, it's close, it seems.
For the sake of brevity, because we have people who have to leave on this very soon. Doesn't take you long to find your way across the city. You find some of the city's bastions standing guard on the outskirts of this crumpled tower ruin. This black and soot-covered stone that is just almost like a plot of land that has been left untouched. Like once it fell, no one wanted anything to do with it. You come to the ruin and you can see there's about a 40-foot gap in this pile of stone that is a recess in the ground, almost like a small sinkhole. And looks like there is some sort of an excavation that has been set here. Very haphazard. There is very, very simple wood boards that have been placed into the side of this small sinkhole to allow relatively comfortable, though a bit rickety, descent into its structure. As you make your way down, your eyes adjust to the little bit of daylight that spills within this dark subterranean cavern. And there before you, you see a surprisingly glorious sight, a simple structure of brass and polished limestone, ancient as the day is long. One of the walls is partially collapsed, and you see what looks like 3 figures rummaging through the debris. An older human woman is being helped by 2 others, a young man with blonde hair and simple clothes, and an older gnome that's carrying a crutch under his arm. And they're all in the process of collecting and setting aside and cleaning up various things that have recovered from this temple. You immediately see against the brass structure the very kind of simplified symbol of the wings of Sarenrae, multiple times across the structure in various incarnations. This is very much indeed the lost temple of Sarenrae.
Wow, Mike. Wow.
The older woman sees you guys walk down and goes,
Please, there's nothing to take. And nothing but history and rock. I guarantee you, bandits are not welcome here.
I take out my symbol and I say, no, I'm here to help.
you hear an audible gasp from her. She says,
My eyes don't deceive. Oh, I am sorry. My name is Jasira. A simple painter, but one of, as far as I know, the 3 devoted to the Lady of the Everlight here in Vasselheim. Now the 4th. I know where you came from, but would you stay with us for a bit and help us rebuild? Bring her name into the light amongst the others here in Vasselheim. Restore it to its glory.
Yes. Oh man, I don't want to leave you guys.
Oh no, because
it shouldn't take long, especially with your help. And we can bring the light into the heart of others. And you can see the 2 other kind of joined her at the side, and they all look at you with this look of hope that you can probably tell from the crinkles in their face that they haven't had in quite some time. And they look up to you in their simple clothes as the first true, strong bastion in this city for Sarenrae they've seen in a long time.
Well, I think this is a pilgrimage I have to take. So, Vox MACHINA, keep your eyes out. I will contact you every once in a while if I can, and we will meet up once this is completed. Okay.
Inevitably.
All in. Vox MACHINA on 3. 1, 2, 3. I miss you guys very much. Okay.
And on that note, we have to close because people are in a rush. Ashley will be leaving us for a time. She is going to New York for a few months to shoot a television series.
It's a little web series.
Yeah, it's a wonderful television series she has recurring on. We're really happy and proud of her. We're just a jumble of emotions in this circumstance. She'll pop in and out if she can, and there will eventually be a return of Pike, but for the time being, she feels the calling to stay and help rebuild this temple of Sarenrae.
Pike, Scanlan will not physically wait for you, but emotionally I will wait for you. And I will not stray emotionally. I will always be there for you, emotionally.
Okay, Scanlan.
Physically, I mean, come on. It's gonna be months.